Welcome. Take it up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Talia Esskandanian, who is the Senior Director of Inside Sales at Avigilon. Avigilon is part of Motorola Solutions. And welcome to the show, Talia.
Thank you, Jessica. Great to be here.
Excited to talk to you about video surveillance camera, intelligent cameras that can do wonders. And I know that this area is very close to your heart. You've been working for 8 years running a team. You've been very successful. Well, would love to hear about Avigilon first, and then we'll get into some of the experience of inside sales leading teams and how to pivot during these changes.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so Motorola Solutions, we're a mission critical company. Our portfolio allows public safety and commercial customers to make critical decisions in real time. I lead, like you said, the global inside sales team for the fixed video segment. Our specific portfolio is AI within the physical security realm. So we have a really strong presence in the video surveillance side and analytics that allow our customers to identify potential critical events and flag them before they become threats.
Yeah, give us some example. How are they being used now? I know you work a lot with the school systems. So give us an example of how school systems are deploying and using your video surveillance and analytics tools.
Yes, so schools are, a big feather in our hat, I'll say. We help a lot with school districts, as well as, college campuses, et cetera. Access control is a big player there. So being able to go into lockdowns if needed, if there's a threat, making sure that kids aren't on campus when they shouldn't be, vandalism is mitigated. Now, since we've gone remote, there's a lot of need for remote monitoring. So even if you're not on campus, you can still kind of keep an eye on things and make sure everybody's being safe.
And during the pandemic, I'm sure schools kind of shifted their budgets too, right? How did you shift your inside sales focus during that time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important this last year. It really provided an avenue for us to go through sort of a sales transformation, right? So we realized early into the pandemic, selling on Monday to a certain customer is very different by Friday. So we embraced all of the change. The normal change management timelines were a bit disrupted, for lack of a better word. But the team really rose to the occasion and embraced sort of the evolving world that presented itself. So we did many micro campaigns. So we definitely went from macro to micro. There's a lot of historical data on our customers and their buying cycles, education included. And it really drove sort of a seasonal direction for the last however many years. With schools going virtual and even hospitality sort of being shut down, we focused primarily on our customers who we could provide assistance to now. The amazing workforce that kept the economy running. So we just sort of shifted and figured out where we needed to help out.
So you have to be very agile. I mean, I imagine there were schools at the beginning of the year, a year ago, when some schools were still open, but in New York, we saw them changing very quickly to shutting down. Did you have to make very quick decisions on how to deploy your resources then?
We shifted away from territory-based to overall regional coverage. So while some of the parts of the country were on strict lockdowns, East Coast, for example, some of the West Coast as well, we refocused on other regions that were still open and active. So I live in Texas, and things kind of kept going. The economy kept running. So we repurposed our reps into territories that we could really help out immediately in.
Okay, well, that's great leadership there to see the changes and quickly figure it out. Let's go into the process and the tools and the changes you made, what kind of outcomes you've seen in inside sales. A lot of tools are being deployed now to automate processes to be a lot more intelligent. So walk us through maybe a campaign program that you've scheduled and how has it worked out for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, as you said, it's this last year, it made people really focus on where the gaps were in workflows and how to fill them. So analytics is a big part of our work. We deployed sort of a sales accelerator platform that helped us out with creating waterfall sequences, meaning, you send an email out, then you have a follow-up call scheduled. If there's no engagement, maybe there's another task that happens a couple days later. It helped us keep a pulse on things, stay organized, but also showed us, where it was working and where it wasn't. So from there, we could make far more informed decisions on where to focus the reps' attention, and how to, hit and exceed their goals. So it definitely was a saving grace for me as a manager. I think managing remotely was very challenging for a lot of us. You just sort of learn how to manage in a different way. It was like starting from ground zero. So I leaned very heavily on tools to help drive conversations. So we're very metrics driven. So we wanted to make sure that the decisions we were making were effective and able to see if it was effective quickly or not. So if it wasn't working within 2 weeks, then we pivoted and went to something that was.
Now, did you have to actually adjust not just like the message, the collateral piece, but the sequence itself? Like I think you can have 5 steps, but did you have to try out different sequences to see which one was more effective?
Yes, definitely. There was a lot of A/B testing. There was a lot of different language ones as well, that we use, and our team is global, so there are different needs for different countries. And we saw very quickly, which regions were open and more interested in certain verbiage technology that we were relaying to them, while others just kind of wanted to hop on a call and have a conversation. So yeah, I think it was kind of a always evolving adjustment of, what kind of message are we trying to deliver? Are we trying to just push and sell, or do we really want to get to know our customers and help them, find solutions for their needs? There was a time when, every email that you got, I'm sure, was unprecedented times and this, that, and the other. And sometimes even a tweak to 1 or 2 words showed us, a huge shift in engagement. So we keep our hand close to the pulse, and we adjust when needed.
Give us an example. What keywords worked for you?
It was funny. So I'm a big podcaster, and I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about how removing I and we from emails tended to help see an uptick in engagement. So instead of I wanted to provide you this, it's wanted to provide you. And even that tiny little change was huge. Changing even the message from, like I said, these unprecedented times, and I hope you're doing well, to now we're adjusting to this new reality. Some of you guys are working remote for the first time. Some of you guys are managing remote for the first time. Here's what we can do to help your lives be easier. So yeah, those tiny little things had a huge impact on the team.
Very interesting. Talk to us about the ability to pop up content for the sales reps to help them, because you want to have consistency in the messaging, the positioning, and all that. And
Yes.
I find that with a lot of tools, it's now automating I know that for customer service for a long time, knowledge-based technology has always popped up content for the call center agents to help you address things. But we are seeing a lot more of that in the sales process, where technology suggests what is the next thing to show to your prospect.
Yes, absolutely. I think the main thing is, especially training remotely, is being able to replicate your most successful rep tenfold and quickly. So we have a telephony platform that not only does call recording, which helps with the coaching sessions to see what's working, how people are handling objections, but also, there's little sort of battle card pop-ups where, if a certain keyword is said on the call, whether it's from the rep side or the customer side, we have the ability to have a little battle card that pops up saying, this is the product they're referring to, this is potentially the objection they may have, and how you can really emphasize the value of the solution instead of selling, products specifically, right? The holistic approach to it. So it helped us with training, with ramp up. We'll continue to do that. We'll definitely be focusing a lot this quarter and into really the rest of the year, ensuring that these cards are effective and that they truly are helping the callers hit their goals. So yeah, it was a huge plus for us.
And I think the objection handling is the other big part of sales training, right?
Yes.
I assume that you are going to be testing out different objection handling messages and see which one's more effective than others.
Yeah, we'll be working with the competitive analysis team as well, just to get a sense of not necessarily putting other manufacturers down, but understanding what's out there and how we stack against it, right? Is it a better fit for you or not? And I think with a collaborative effort across multiple departments, we'll be able to see a pretty quick uptick in win rates and conversion rates. So that's on the roster for this year, and I'm really excited to deploy it.
So last year was a scary time and a chaotic time for a lot of companies because everybody had to suddenly change and shift. A lot of lessons learned, but this year it sounds like you've got a lot more of the tools in place, processes in place, and it's like let's just push and see how much higher sales results, more customer logos, and then you're going to start to be able to measure the impact of what you do now to the actual revenue, the conversion of sales and logos.
Yeah. Like I said, we're very metric driven, and the sales transformation we went through last year really allowed me to understand the gaps in our workflows and our processes and things that we truly weren't measuring that were impacting, the bottom line, if you will. So this year we'll definitely be able to measure the impact all the way through, cradle to grave sales cycles. Last year, it was very evident early on, where the gaps were in our workflows, which was, great to see tools out in the market now that help optimize a lot of that. So, we lead with metrics and analytics, and that's really the only way that you can make decisions effectively.
You guys are hiring, right?
Yes, we're hiring across all of the Motorola inside sales org, as well as, the channel team and field team as well.
Great. Well, this has been wonderful. Thanks for talking with us about the business at Avigilon, and the tips that you are sharing, the lessons learned in inside sales. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica.
There you have it. Take it up with Jessica Lee, Talia Esskandanian from Avigilon.